capital of the world, Cleveland, Ohio, at First Energy Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. Tonight, we reach the unofficial midway point of the season with a good Monday night battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. From deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
For most people, the excitement of the kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
Here we go. 11 empty.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Here's Burrow to Mixon on the check down. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Defensively, they came into the game with the understanding they're going to have to slow him down on passes just like this because he was over 100 yards receiving a week ago. And you know they want to get him involved here as well.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Straight ahead, it's Evans. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, this defense for the Browns, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. He's going to look deep down the field. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big play there for Cincinnati. 61 yards. Now it's Burrow. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line. First down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action, maybe throwing it.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. 3rd and goal. Burrow. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Burrow taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Bengals put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
A fairly short kick from the 14. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. To throw is Watson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Here's the rookie, the former Wolverine, Hassan Haskins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. That's complete to Mooney. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A first down and then some. Give him 29 yards. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1.
Haskins now on 1st and 10.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The Browns at 6-1 now through 7 weeks of the season. And they come in riding high. Just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
And I like the way that this team is winning football games because they're doing it the way that coaches love to preach. Penalties at a minimum because they've been very disciplined, very focused in their business.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Back to throw, Watson.
And this will be caught by Mooney.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Darnell Mooney.
His 6th touchdown of the season.
And the Browns are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. Extra point by York is up and good.
And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Their dreams of an undefeated season shattered with the loss a week ago. Now, look, whenever an undefeated team goes down, you always hear some say, well, they needed that. I don't know, Charles. Is that a narrative that you buy into?
Well, I haven't met a coach yet that feels like they needed that loss. You know, that's not something that they're in favor of. But I do know this.
He's got a man complete.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Burrow looking to pass. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now then after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon.
And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Now it's Burrow.
Pass thrown right back to Joe Mixon. And they're going to be set up now with a ball at the 13-yard line. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action. It's Burrow. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. These two teams all tied after 1.
Gun.
Mixon. Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. And now they will throw it with Burrow. He's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Hayden Hurst from 6 yards away. And the Bengals have moved out in front. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. From the end zone, it's Freddie Swain. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep two eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting two hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10.
What a matchup we have here in the AFC North on this All Hallows Eve, otherwise known, of course, as Halloween. Kids probably shuffling home right now from trick-or-treating, all hopped up on sugar and ready to drive their parents crazy as these two old rivals get together here on this final day of October in a game that's been highly anticipated.
Watson now to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at about the 28. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended it.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Bengals.
Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Swain going to look to bring this one out. And not a great return here. He'll make it back only to the 10-yard line.
Anytime you feel the kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done, because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. The Browns on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Watson. And this is going to be incomplete.
Does look like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
Call that a 48-yard punt and made even better by a loss on the return.
And the Bengals take over 1st and 10.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Charles, this offense, they've been on a roll. 2 drives ago they scored. Remember, last drive was that one-play touchdown strike, so now they're looking to make it 3 for 3.
You know, I talked to a Hall of Famer one time about, hey, when you're on defense and these types of things are happening to you, what goes through your mind? And he told me at that point, it's not about schemes. It's not about what's called from the sideline. It's about players. Who's going to make a play, make a stand, and stop this offense from doing what they've been doing?
Eluding the pressure right. And that is taken in by Hurst. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
11 Thomas. Stop.
Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He finds his running back, Mixon. Touchdown! Joe Mixon, a 22-yard touchdown ground. And the Bengals take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And, Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates.
And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances. Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Burrow will throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Colin Johnson from 21 yards away. And the Bengals are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Browns drive about to get started.
For this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he's going to have a Browns first down as the tackle made here at the 36.
That was pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense credit. Coverage is in lockdown mode everywhere.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
From the gun on third, Watson. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up fourth down.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away.
And it's taken in at the 9. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger. And
this is caught inside the 5. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
Jamar Chase,
his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the rout is on here in this first half.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
And they are trying to create some separation within the division. And look, CD, I know that this is still the first half of the season, but this is a big matchup no matter where it falls, because these are the top 2 teams right now in that division.
And if you can build a bit of a cushion as you head towards the second part of the season, that allows you to survive the expected injuries, potential upset losses, all of those things, and still be in good shape.
The handoff to Ford up the middle. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. From the 45 on 2nd down, Watson.
Pass complete to Jalen Tolbert.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
They run with Ford. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense, because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
Watson on 3rd down. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. They will indeed snap it to Watson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Bengals will get the football back. The Bengals drive about to get going. Burrow on play action. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to step out of bounds all the way down at the 30-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. 52 yards. Now Burrow on first down. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far. But on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Steps away to his left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
1-1, ready? 11. 12. Stop.
They'll try and throw for it with Burrow. Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time. And you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, one thing we certainly know, he likes to take those risks deep downfield during games, coverage or not. The coverage was there on that one. No catch, but he's also fortunate. No turnover either.
The final shot before the break, Watson. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've reached halftime here on Halloween. And trust me, kids, if you had to look at Charles Davis every game, you'd think every day was Halloween. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter.
Kevin McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. Swain going to look to bring this one out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. The Browns drive about to get started. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
We're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
Well, throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
We're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Bengals drive about to get going. Mixon gets the nod to start the drive.
taken down at the 42.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Again, it's Mixon. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. On 3rd down, Mixon. It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down.
Hey, can.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he's got it to about the 40.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. They'll roll him out right, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt, and that will extend their lead even further. So tack on 3 more, though this, it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner, but at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great too.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let him go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a...
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. He has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for now. 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take away all the alleys, right? They range deep and make a whole lot of great catches.
Here we go.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Once again, they run with Mixon. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They'll give it to Mixon, and he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year, and the Bengals are pouring it on.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Swain going to look to bring this one out. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Browns take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2, Watson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ford. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week. And we're back now here in Cleveland. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Giving to the big tight end on 4th. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. And a gadget play here on 4th down winds up backfiring. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
11 MT, 11 MT.
It's Mixon on the counter. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. McPherson's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Swain going to look to bring this one out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish.
A loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 12 at the 14-yard line.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. That's complete to Mooney. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Back to throw, Watson. He's going to air one out. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. From the red zone now, Watson. Touchdown, Browns. Jalen Tolbert with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Browns get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point by York is up and good as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
We've paid this offense plenty of compliments already, but, I mean, they are deserving as they start another series. To be leading by this much with so much time left to play in the fourth, Charles, it's really, really been impressive to watch.
It has been, and you have to think to yourself the preparation that went into this, but the absolute focus that they kept throughout in order to have this kind of a result. This is Super Bowl-esque, and they've got to feel awfully good.
He's got a man complete. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Jamar Chase, 78 yards. And the Bengals look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. A fairly short kick from the 14.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of it. And now Watson throws another interception. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
Here we go.
At the 40-yard line.
12.
Mixing up the middle. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Back to Mixon on second down.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
And some space here. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, they mentioned this week, Charles, they had a couple kinks on offense that they wanted to fix. I would say they're pretty well fixed.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, just about everything they've run has been successful in this one. And if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm done with this, right? I have no answers for anything. In fact, I'd probably send a note to the clock operator. Let it run.
Swain going to look to bring this one out. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Watson's throw pulled in by Schwartz. 5 yards remain on second down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Now it's Watson.
The 19-yard line.
And that is incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Watson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Jesse Bates. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And guys, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll stay on the ground, Mixon again. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That 2nd down play nets a -4. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Inside handoff to Mixon. And this will not get close to the 1st down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so, and maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset. Plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Faking the give. Now Watson. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson.
And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Watson. And now here is another interception.
Daxton Hill picks it off.